Want the best way to shop online? Click kccars.com. Want thousands of vehicles at the lowest prices? Click kccars.com. For McCarthy's brand new Chevys, Toyotas, Nissans, Hyundais, and certified and quality pre-owned vehicles all in one place. Over 1,400 new cars and trucks and 500 pre-owned all at your fingertips. Click kccars.com for the McCarthy Auto Group with over 2,000 new and pre-owned vehicles from the ease of your computer, tablet, or phone 24/7. Log on today. kccars.com.
Right. Let's go to the phone. Dan Robinson from Lucas Oil Speedway joins us now. Dan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Scott, how are you?
Well, we're doing great, and I'm sure you're excited. It's the season premiere of the local racing scene pretty much around this area and Lucas Oil Speedway tonight. You pumped up?
Yeah, we are ready to go, man. It's been a long, cold winter, and we had a great demo derby, but we're ready for circle track racing here in Wheatland.
Yeah. Tell us what you got going tonight.
Okay. We've got MLRA. This will be their third race of 2013. Expecting a huge car count with that. We've also got a 750 to win modified show and a 750 to win factory stock show. So 3 huge classes tonight.
Man, that's pretty big money, isn't it?
Yeah, we want to kick it off with a bang. So
yeah. Well, Dan, I tell everybody up here in the Kansas City area, and we've got people listening all over the Midwest right now on the internet. It's really an easy drive. It used to be it wasn't really a good way to get down there to Lucas Oil Speedway, but now that 13's opened up 4 lanes all the way down, it's really not a bad drive, and you can get home pretty quick too.
Yeah, absolutely. From Kansas City, it's not very far. It's 2 hours or less. Just shoot down 13, hit 54 there in Collins, and head east, and you can't miss us there, right on 54.
I've heard a lot of rumors down there about the racetrack itself, Dan. What can you tell us about the much improved, it was great even before, but even much improved Lucas Oil Speedway? What have you been doing to the racetrack down there?
Well, the biggest thing, the actual racing surface was it was oddly shaped for several years here, just over time, and it had got out of whack, and we spent the winter really staking it out and reshaping it. So it's a very consistent 74 feet wide all the way around now. And, before what would happen is it kind of funneled into the going into the corner and, tend to force cars together. And now we've made it to where you can stay on the bottom and race 3 wide through the corner. I think it'll be much better.
Wow. How did the Demolition Derby go last week, the night of destruction?
It far exceeded my expectations. I knew it would be good, but it was great. We had an absolute huge crowd for opening night, and they put on an outstanding show, and I think that's something we'll see every year on the schedule.
Yeah. Dan, let's talk to you a little bit about MLRA and Lucas Oil purchasing MLRA. I think that the future is so bright, and the extra money that you guys have put in there, and for the Rookie of the Year fun and everything that you're doing with MLRA, you guys have really done a nice job. Talk about some of the things that you're excited about with MLRA under your leadership this year.
Yeah, it's really going good. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. At I-80, we had a great show, great car counts both nights. We had 47 cars on Friday night, and I think 40 on Saturday, so that was a good way. And the race feedback's just been really positive. The little bit of tow money helps, and really trying to book 2-day shows together with a Friday and Saturday. We added the Casey's General Stores Hard Charger Award, so a little more incentive. And then the Sunoco Rookie of the Year's got a lot of guys like Grant Younghands running, and I think Travis Dickus is going to run, and Tommy Weeder. So you got a lot of new blood in there, and I think it's just going to be outstanding.
You've added some dates to the schedule here within the last few days. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we really did. We did not co-sanction those Springfield races this year, which was just a mutual decision with us and the raceway owner there. But so I was looking to fill some dates, and that May 31st, June 1st weekend, we were off at Lucas Oil Speedway, and there's not a lot of other racing in the area, so it was really important. We thought to fill that weekend, and we did that with stops at US 36 and at LA Raceway. And then I had one single night there, July 27th at LA, and we wanted to back that Friday up, and so we're going to go to Midway Speedway in Lebanon. We hadn't been there for a few years, and that was always a good show. So I think that'll really help complement our schedule.
Yeah.
You've added a lot of exciting things to the Show Me 100 weekend that's coming up over Memorial Weekend. Kind of fill us in on some of the new things that's going on that added to the weekend considerably there, haven't you?
Well, it was something I've been wanting to do for a while. That the biggest change is adding the MLRA show on Thursday night. I've looked at that the first couple of years, and with the tire rule was always a little different and some different things, but once we got in the common tire rule, it made sense. So, we're going to kick it off rather than just have a practice with a 5,000 to win, 500 to start MLRA race on Thursday night. And then also on Saturday, trying to, we want to get the car count back where it should be. And one of the things we did was add a non-qualifiers race. So that's another chance for the guys that don't make the feature to make a little money and get one last crack at getting in the main event. So that should be good too.
Let's talk about the third annual Diamond Drag Boat Nationals. I know that the fans are loving that place down there. Give us a little update on that and what you expect.
Well, if we ever get good weather for one of these drag boat weekends, we'll hit a home run. We've had basically 3 weekends of it and 3 not very good weather weekends. So hopefully that June date pays off for us, and it should be big. There's, we had over 100 boats in June last year, and we just had a little wind issue, but hopefully that'll go away. And the drag boat racing is just getting bigger and bigger down here. We've also spent the winter adding to the facilities. We've built permanent restrooms down there. We've added power and light poles, and it's a far different facility, even already from last year to this year, that people will be surprised when they get there.
Yeah. What? Tell us a little bit about the 4th annual USMTS Slick Mist Show Me Shootout.
Well, that race is always big. That's one of the stops that USMTS marks on their calendars, and last year we had a great field of cars. Terry Phillips came and won the race, and Ryan Reuter was second. So it's just always a phenomenal show, and we're about to announce some additions to that show as well. I can't really talk about it, but we're going to add another special event as part of that show, so stay tuned in the coming weeks to get that info.
Third annual Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial.
My favorite.
Last weekend in September. That's always a big event for you.
Yeah, that thing, that's got the potential to really just be more than a race. That's turning into an event. The campers just keep increasing each year, and adding the non-wing cars last year was exactly what we wanted to do with Jack Hockett. And we learned a few things about the racetrack last year with the non-wing cars. We're going to make some adjustments this year, and so we have a little better racetrack on Saturday night. But that's really big. And speaking of sprint cars, we kind of skipped the May 4th show, but May 4th we're going to run the Impact Signs Open Wheel Showdown and have the Warrior Region ASCS sprint cars, the non-wing sprint cars, and the Power Eye National Midget Series all on the same night. So that May 4th event is going to be huge. Oh,
man, I can't wait for that. That will be a big one right there. That's a huge event right there.
I'll be down there for that. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, you know what? And everybody else, we hope. I think it's going to be great.
The Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial, obviously my favorite race, and because we think about Jesse every time and Daniel when we're down there for this event, and the atmosphere is just a little bit different for that event because of those guys. And the one thing I liked about that race last year was that you saw some of the guys like Dustin Morgan, Brady Bacon jump out of their wing cars and get into some of the war cars and compete as non-wing drivers, and that's a bonus for it's always great to have the non-wing guys there, but when you get a guy like Brady Bacon or Dustin Morgan or a few of these guys that are really standout non-wing drivers jump in one of those cars and go out and compete with those other guys, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, not to mention a guy like Casey Schumann.
Oh, and Casey Schumann. Yeah,
I mean, you got Casey Schumann and Brady Bacon battling in non-wing cars both nights. That was something to watch. So, and get to see Jack Hockett win one of those races, in one of his cars, that was really something special. And I saw a lot of tears shed that night, and it is a very emotional weekend for a lot of people, but I'm glad we can, continue Jesse and Daniel's legacy here with that event, and we'll just keep trying to make it bigger and better every year.
You got to be so proud about how this weekly program has built up down at Lucas Oil Speedway. I've been down to your last 2 banquets down there. Very impressive, the contingencies and the awards that you hand out for your weekly racers. Just got to talk about, in this day and age where car counts and crowds are kind of tough to come by at a lot of places. Not so at Lucas Oil Speedway. You've really built up the car count and the fan base there pretty dramatically over the last couple of years.
Yeah, it was a little tough when I started, and we just, worked on some incentives and some programs, and, we added the B mods, and we changed some of our formats, and added just a little bit of extra money in one class each night, and rotated it, and added some contingencies, and it's just been a whole combination of different things, but, we averaged 26 late models last year, which is the highest in the country, 35 modifieds, 20-plus factory stocks, and 25 B mods every night.
Wow.
And if practice is any indication, our last week's practice, I mean, we are going to have a ton of cars. There's a lot of new cars and some really, really good cars. So I'm really excited about next weekend as well.
Dan, I've got a question from Jimbo on the chat room. He wants to know, are you going to add electric hookups for the camping out there, or when are you going to add hookups for camping?
Well, right now we're not in the regular campground. We're spending a lot of time and energy to bring power to the drag boat side. That whole midway before was all generators and portable light towers. So that's where our focus has been this off season. But yes, in the future we will add more camping. I actually bought a bunch of the boxes that that they hook into. So I have the potential to do it. I just can't know for sure when that'll happen. But we'll try to get that done.
Isn't that really turned into one of the great experiences of going down to Wheatland and Lucas Oil Speedway? Is that the camping environment? I know that I go down there in my motorhome, and I know that the teams are down there, and we all hang out in the pits after the races when it's a 2-day show, like for the Jesse Hockett Daniel McMillan Memorial. But the fans, they get to interact with the drivers before and after the race and kind of hang around. It turns into a little town, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does, especially here, where we are a little remote. So once you're here, you're kind of captive, and
right.
That is one of the neat things about it. And we try to have, especially at the Show Me, we have a lot of, tournaments for the campers, and you can go swimming in our swimming beach. And, yeah, we want that camping experience to be really enjoyable. And you're right, there's a lot of camaraderie, and we open the pits during the day so they can go get autographs and take pictures and just hang out. I think that's really an important aspect of it.
I agree.
Dan, I had one other question about the MLRA. Of course, Dan Robinson joining us, General Manager, Lucas Oil Speedway, and the new General Manager of the Lucas Oil MLRA. You're phasing in some new tires tonight down at Lucas Oil Speedway. What are those tire adjustments you're making to the MLRA?
Yeah, that's something I'm really excited about. It is a challenge, and it's had a lot of discussion. I spent all winter talking about it. Basically where this started was with the national tour, trying to consolidate their tire rule and get a handle on it to save the drivers cost. But what that did for us is it allowed us to open up ours just a little bit, so our regional guys can buy tires that are the exact same rubber but a little different style of tire and be able to be more competitive when they come to the Show Me and the Diamond and the Silver Dollar Nationals. It also allows, if we have Mars guys cross over, they're used to running on a 40 tire, and this new tire is exactly a 40 with a different designation. So it gives some guys some options and puts some thinking back into the tire selection. I think it'll be really neat. So we're going to try that tonight and see how it goes.
All right. Well, Dan, before we let you go, just want to say thanks for everything you do with RacinBoys, and your support down there in Lucas Oil, obviously, is one of our great partners, and I know you're a part of that, and we want to thank you, and have a great show down there. Anything you need to add before we let you go?
Nope, just it's sunshine and 65 today and no wind, so no fears about the weather. Everybody come down from Kansas City and let's go racing.
Just get the no wind forecast when you have the drag boats back. That's the big thing.
Yeah, that'll be great.
All
right. Dan, thanks so much for being on. We appreciate it. Have a good show tonight.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you. There he is, Dan Robinson, General Manager, Lucas Oil Speedway. And, yeah, he's right about, those drag boat events down there. Mm-hmm. The first year they had it was so hot.
Then windy.
It was one of the hottest weekends of the whole year, and then the wind kicked up, and that's one thing I learned about the drag boats. You can't have wind. It seemed like even the slightest bit of wind causes a big problem.
Right.
But they had a couple of 3 delays there, so yeah, the weather. People haven't treated those drag boat weekends too well, but that's a beautiful facility they got down there for that. It's a very unique, man-made facility for the drag boats, the liquid quarter mile, I guess they call it down there. But
is that what they call it?
It's something to see.
I haven't heard that one. Where'd you hear that?
That was the term that they threw out down there. So
who threw that out?
I didn't come up with it. The liquid quarter mile.
All right, the liquid quarter mile at Lucas Oil Speedway. Get down and check it out. That's going to be a lot of fun. I have not been able to witness one of those races because I'm always out in the Northwest during that time, and it bugs me every time I hear about it and I don't get to see it. So hopefully one of these days I'll get it.
It's really something to see, especially when you see one of them nitro-powered boats go down that track.
Yeah, I would love to see that. Yeah, no doubt.